Mikel, what's the goal for this season? Do you agree with the opinion that anything other than an Arsenal title would be failure? It's a joy to welcome a remarkable man, a leader who I loved as an Everton player, but, and this is saying something, I revere all the more after his return to Arsenal as manager, in which he tenaciously transformed the squad, the mindset, the entire fan culture, and led his young squad on a dizzying campaign that, even though it faltered at the last, was honestly, it was humanly remarkable to witness. It's like seeing an epic Greek poem lived out live week on week. So it's a joy to welcome, to talk about his approach to leadership, Mr. Mikel Arteta.
Hello.
Oh, Mikel, I want to take you back to December 22nd, 2019. You became the head coach of Arsenal Football Club, 37 years old, youngest manager in the Premier League. Arsenal then struggling in 10th place, very different to now. The squad, older, a fan base who were filled with doubt. And those first 12 months were filled with challenges. Your 1-year anniversary came during a run of 7 winless games, late 2020. The hashtag Arteta out felt then as prevalent as Tiger King memes. But you never seemed hurried. You never made reactionary decisions. You seemed to stay true to yourself. Serious question. How do you stay so patient in the eye of the critical storm?
Well, I had a lot of people who believed in me and had the courage to give me the job and the opportunity to fulfill a dream that I had. And I was so convinced that with time I was able to deliver and bring some joy and some togetherness and unity to the club. And that was my first intention, is we need to change the environment. We need to set the right foundations, that everybody has a purpose and everybody has the right motives and emotions towards what the team transmits. And yeah, with a lot of hard work, as you said, with some support and obviously winning a lot of games after that, we have managed to do that. And that's it tastes well, because as you said, there were some failures and some difficult moments, and then when you manage to do it, I think it tastes better.
Yeah, I can't imagine the winning because it's not a major part of my life, but I do know about criticism and how hard it is to keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. How do you know what criticism to let in, what to tweak and change, and what to keep out to stay thick-skinned to?
Well, first of all, being honest to yourself, and we all have a voice here inside that it tells us all the time, it tells us the truth, and it tells us sometimes what we don't want to hear, and we are feeling it. And I always follow that. I followed it in every way, and I learned something from my coach that told me, if you hear too much what the outside world said, you're going to be one of them very soon.
Who told you that?
It's a very famous basketball NBA manager, and I won't tell his name because if not, it will be everywhere. But he gave me that advice a while ago, and I really took it. And you have to obviously be very analytical and surround yourself with the best possible people in many areas. But at the end, you have to make the decision, and you have to follow your gut, and you have to be conscious that what you see every day gives you many reasons to make the decision that you make, and you can't ignore that because someone has an opinion when it's not with you every single day.
I love that. It sounds like something from the Popovich, Phil Jackson canon. Oh, but Arsenal's fortunes, they did change, slowly at first and then all at once. And last year, you spent a magnificent 248 days at the top of the table. That young team, a magnificent surge. The fans sang Super Mick Arteta. Honestly, I'm a horrible person. But even for me, it was delirious to witness. But agonisingly, it was not to be. And before this season, you were reflective. Incredible story. You talked about how you had to look in the mirror and judge yourself. You said, I asked myself if I'm still the right person to drive the club forward. I do have that energy and that belief that I really want to do it. You ultimately answered yes to all of those questions. But for real, Mikel, how long did that process of judging yourself take? And was the decision quick?
Well, I don't know if that process is still gone, because I question still a lot of things that I did last year and I do every single day, and you cannot sit still in this job. Everything goes so fast and it's constantly moving, and that's the mindset. We have to be evolving, we have to be dynamic, and and we are always on the verge of things, and being analytic and staying behind as well sometimes doesn't help. So you have to be very cautious of how you make those decisions. But I think I was so disappointed. I'm a terrible loser, and I was really disappointed not to win it when we had a big chance to do it. And I put the blame on me, and I always done it. And then I had to think really if I was still the right person to take the club to a different level, to convince those players again what we want to do and we can do it better. And the answer was that I had that energy and that convincement, and let's try.
Okay, there was a quote of yours about when you lose, you just pull the duvet over your face, and I've got to say, that image is both incredibly human and the most in football that I relate to. But there's an amazing statistic. There are now only 3 players with Arsenal's first team squad that you didn't bring into this team. They are Arteta players. And I'm interested in the notion of Arsenal's identity, because Jurgen Klopp once said, Liverpool's identity in one word is intensity. Can you summarise Arteta's Arsenal identity in a single word?
I don't know. I always felt that every single player that has been here, it was my player. I made a decision to come here, and I knew the players, the squad, and I always made them my player. And if they're not here, it's because I wasn't good enough to get the best out of them. That's for sure. That's the first thing, and because that's my job. And after that, if we have to describe the team, there are a few words. I love the words joy. Enjoyment has to be there. If I'm here and the players, they don't enjoy what they do, I better go home. We are here to win, and there is a lot of things that are going to affect our results. But the players playing for us, they have to enjoy what they do every single day. They have to be demanded, and they have to feel in the limit every single day, but they have to enjoy it.
Football as joy. And you've talked also about how that to really manage, you need to understand the interior life of players, the internal life of players, how they think, how to get their blood pumping. And you also recently praised the team's empathy and human qualities in how they're handling new signing Kai Havertz. I'm fascinated by empathy in football, Mikel. Is it a quality that can be taught, or do you test for empathy when a player comes in?
Well, when you see how players talk, for example, about the past, when they talk about their families, when they talk about their friends, when they talk about the experiences, that gives you so much information. They need to have that quality because we have 19 different nationalities in the squad, and some of them, they don't have anything in common apart from that they love football and they love changing it, and they love to take it to the opponent's half and try to score one more goal than the opponent. Apart from that, they've been raised in different ways, dedicated, they don't even can't talk in the same language. So it has to be something else, and when there is something else within them that they can transmit, whether it's love, whether it's passion, whether it's respect, sympathy, support, those are strong words, and when that connection starts to happen, it's like a really powerful wire around the club, around the squad, and we have managed to do that because we have some really good people. I'm certain of that.
Tennyson once wrote, "It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all." But Tennyson never had to manage in the Premier League. Mikel, what was a major lesson that you learnt down the stretch last year? And what message from it did you deliver to the gents this season?
There are so many lessons. There is one. It's keep moving, keep evolving, keep looking forward, and look at the bigger picture. It's one of the biggest risk that we have as managers in this environment is just focusing on something immediately now or something that happened a day ago, and that moves you backwards, which is a really dangerous thing to do, or it keeps you standing still and unable to make decisions. So you need to clear your mind straight away, and you need to look forward, and there is another game, there is another opportunity, and those players, this staff needs your leadership, needs your guidance, needs your support, and as well they need to see you convinced that we're gonna go in that direction, and it's gonna go right.
Talking about going right, I am speaking to you right after you just beat Manchester City for the first time ever in the league, and post game all the world saw was a quick handshake between you and Pep Guardiola. This was your first win head-to-head against a gent you spent so much bloody time with at Barcelona since you were 15, at Manchester City. And there had to be the urge to have something more than just that perfunctory post-match handshake. Have you had a real conversation with Pep since then?
Yeah, I talked with him after the game, and it's always like this, It's very tense, it's very emotional. It's a lot going on that moment. After that, that relationship remains intact. I lost much more than I won against him. But to be fair, in the last 2 games when we won the Community Shield and now in the league, obviously the feeling is totally different. But what I feel towards him is admiration. And then it's gratitude. I wouldn't be where I am if it's not for him. In many ways, not only because he gave me the opportunity to be in his coaching staff, because as well how he inspired me as a player.
What did he say to you?
Congratulations, you guys are a terrific team, and let's move on.
This season, and I love this, you hand-selected a dog, a lab named Win. You brought into Arsenal's training centre as the club dog, saying that Win can help build, quote, a family atmosphere. To you, what's the difference between a football team and their bond and what you become as a family? And how does Win, who again, you hand-bloody chose, Mikel, which blows my mind that you have the time for this, how does Win help?
This started over 2 years ago. So when we wanted to change the culture, I had a few things in mind, how we're going to change it. It was something, first of all, on a picture, then something that had to come alive. So I brought an olive tree that was 150 years old and that the players have to look after. But it was more standing still, you don't really notice the difference. And when our culture developed to something much bigger than deeper and much more connected with each other, and I could use the word family, then I decided to bring a dog that we train, a dog that I believe has the power to connect with everybody in a really powerful way, is able to change the energy on the room in 10 seconds with his presence only. And then something that we need to continue to build and grow our family and look after. And I'm delighted that we made that decision, because the response for everybody at the club has been really good.
Who's the closest to Win?
I think there will be many candidates. To be fair, it's some fights to take Win home and spend time with Win, take her for walks. Sometimes she is exhausted, because everybody wants to take her for a walk. It's so relaxing. It's like a therapy, just taking her for a walk and seeing the energy, the joy that she has, that someone is looking after her, being in the room with her, and the love transmits around the place, and it's a joy to have her.
The Gunnosaurus of dogs. Mikel, what's the goal for this season? Do you agree with the opinion that anything other than an Arsenal title would be failure?
I don't know. We cannot change that, When you build expectations and we have given people the right reasons to dream, that's fine, But for us, there is only one, that is to be better today than we were yesterday, and prepare the best possible way to win the next fixture. And that's it. We cannot look any further than that. But it's great. They are with us in the journey. They are completely engaged with us like we are with them. And together it's going to be easier.
Last question for you, Mikel. We asked American fans for the question they most like to ask you. And without a doubt, hundreds all ask the same question. I'm going to choose the one from @BrianMCC. Mikel, how is your hair always so perfect? What product do you use in it? What's the secret? I'm asking this as a bald man, Mikel.
My hair doesn't need a lot of care, to be fair. It's on the genes, and I just use some gel to fix it and keep it nice and tidy, that's all.
Mikel, to your hair, to your team, to your club, to your season, to Win the dog, Godspeed.
Thank you so much.
Listen to the full version of this podcast and all our podcasts wherever you get your pods. But first, subscribe here for more Men in Blazers videos. And courage.